Hello friends, Music Man from his man cave, and these are movies that, yeah, we can say that they're bad, but something happens. You discover a couple of weeks later, you know how they always say you're going to forget a movie that's really bad? These are movies you cannot forget. They etch into your memory, and you find yourself quoting them all the time. Here is the top one. It is the contender for all-time quoted movie of all time, because people quote it all the time, and if you can say any of the lines, everybody knows. Everybody says the movie's so bad, but everybody knows what movie you're talking about. Let's talk about it. Okay, Music Man from his man cave. And unless you're one of those people and you know who you are, that just can't ever lighten up. You just have to take films so seriously. There are some movies out there that they're so bad that you're just never going to forget them. And they're quoted. I mean, they're continually quoted by friends and by kids at school and so forth. And one of the top contenders for the movie that is so bad but that happens is The Master of Disguise. This movie is really, really bad. However, there are moments in it that if you don't laugh, you don't have a pulse. You just can't help it. You can't help but laugh. Like his grandpa training him and saying things like, "Shut your yammering skull cave." If that's not funny to you, who are you? Are you some kind of clone or drone from another planet? If it at least doesn't evoke a smile from you, um, you know, it's it's funny, and things that aren't purposely funny. Energico and him playing, Kenny G with a flutophone or a recorder to charm the snake, and just dumb. Of course, there's "Are you turtly enough for the Turtle Club? Turtle, turtle." And that's a bad imitation of it, but it's funny. And just things that are ridiculous, like him biting off a guy's nose and then throwing the guy's nose back on. And then you think it's for kids. This is for kids. But then there's some stuff that's really pretty sexually oriented in this movie that's really not appropriate for children. And so then you wonder, is it? Especially when he turns all of a sudden into, Scarface. And he's, "I know you would have a little wiener and tiny nuts." I mean, if you don't, if it doesn't make you laugh. Now, my wife, she says the movie is so stupid. But when Data, who plays the bad guy in this, every time he laughs and farts, with that awkward, obtuse silence, she bursts into laughter. Every time. I don't know why that's funny to her. It's not funny to me. It just makes me smile. But every time she laughs, she can't help herself. And of course, it's very, very, very ridiculous. His dog is named the Cuteness. There's a part where he's actually sitting and he looks like the guy from Jaws, and he's like, 22 kids went into the water. 20-something kids going out of the water. The ice cream truck took the rest, and just stuff like that. And it's so over the top ridiculous that you can't help but laugh because it's just so dumb. There's a time when he's actually inside of a cherry dessert, and he climbs out and he's all covered in cherries, and he actually fights shooting cherries out of his mouth. It's just dumb, but you can't help but at certain points to laugh. And of course, the movie ends with a real gas. Watch it. You'll see what I mean. It does end with a real gas. But it's quoted all the time. It comes up all the time in conversations, and people don't even realize they're quoting The Master of Disguise. And they are. They can't help it. Dana Carvey, the critics hate it. I mean, it's like Rotten Tomatoes, I probably think it's probably got 0 to 7%. Might jump up to 13%. I don't know. It's pretty bad. I don't know very many people that went to this and actually walked out of the theater and said, "I got my money's worth." But I can tell you that it's a movie that you just never forget. The slap dummy, him putting underwear over his head. It's just so out of there, so ridiculous, so pointless. And it has all these stars, It's like the movie 43. that I have never seen because people have warned me it's really, really ridiculously bad. Um, you have Michael Johnson in it, one of the fastest sprinters in the history of sprinting from the Olympics. You have, I think Jesse Ventura's in it. There's a lot of stars that pop up in this movie. Even George W. Bush is in the movie. I mean, it's really funny. So if you ever want to have a time, and here you go again, the eyes will start rolling. Let's watch Master of Disguise. This movie is funny. It really is. It's so bad that it's funny because it's like his disguises that he chooses are ridiculous for the situation. So anyway, there's another one, and you'll be quoting it, and you'll say it, and everybody around the table, dinner table, will say, "Master of Disguise."